Islam and Grand Rising to all the Moors across the world. We are here for another Attorney General slash Counsel General study session. As you guys already know, today is November 23rd, 2025. We're going to course correct today. We've been reading the Consular Notification Access for the past 3 or 4 weeks, and we'll jump back to that. But sometimes life requires a course correction. Sometimes we have to stop, um, take a pause, and kind of camel back to give the people a clear view of the direction that we need to move in moving forward. Um, and as your Attorney General, I must talk to you from a legal perspective. What's happening with the Moors out here today? There's a lot of discernment going on with Moor subjects. There's a lot of discernment going on within the Moroccan Empire. There's a lot of misconceptions going on at the United Nations. We have people trying to claim themselves as Moorish Jewish in the Sharifian Empire. We have former judges, trying to say that they have more authority than the Sultan of Morocco. We have a slew of things that's going on within the de jure Empire of Morocco, pertaining to the de jure Sultan that the people elected in to the Empire of Morocco. So now all of a sudden, there is some so-called second Sultan. So I have to, from a legal perspective, I have to show you on what led to this nefarious activity. On October 1st, the Sultan was in every right. Once I'm done today, you're going to realize that the Sultan was in every right to put on the table what he needed to put on the table, which was an affidavit of constitutional breach and sedition. It will probably do you a little justice to go grab a pen and a piece of paper to write down these points of clarity for yourself, so you'll be able to come back and ask questions throughout our call. I can stop at any time, and anybody can say, point of interest, please stop. Let me ask you this question. So first, I just want to make sure that everyone can see my screen. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So on the screen here, this is our former Consul General, Jordan Bey, who resides in the colonial state of Texas. There was a lot of nefarious activity going on within the state of Texas that the whole empire of Morocco did not know. So why is it important for nationals to be on this call, or soon to be nationals? So Wazirs, if you have someone that is looking to be a national, you need to bring them on this call, because this is going to be very important, so they can understand the do's and the don'ts on what we're going to take within the Empire of Morocco. Because we are still signatory powers to the treaty. And when we keep calling the colonizers the criminals, but we got so much criminal activity going on, it just makes us look bad as an empire. What I'm going to show you today is shameful from a legal standpoint. What I'm going to show you today is sedition amongst people that did not know. What I'm going to show you today is a judicial branch that was corrupt. There's corrupt judicial branches all across the world. So nobody feels sorry for you, Moors, on this call. Nobody feels sorry for the Empire of Morocco, because there's countries, states, islands that have corrupt judicial branches. So on this, if someone can do me, if first of all, I want to give flowers, because as of yesterday, you guys have a brand new consul general for the Empire of Morocco. I want to give flowers to Brother Conya Bey from the AMPAC's jurisdiction. He will be your new consul general for the Empire of Morocco. Islam?
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, congratulations.
Islam, congratulations, Kyrie.
Islam, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Islam, thank you. Looking forward to serving everyone.
His two assistants that I know he can go to for anything will be his assistant consul generals for the Empire of Morocco. Once the prime minister puts all this into writing, once these two other brothers are fully nationalized, will be Luis Vega as well as Brother Daryl Day from Nevada. So let's congratulate these two brothers who will be assisting from an empire level, not just the internal level, from an empire level, as far as like anything that Conya Bey needs within the Department of Consul General. So let's give a round of Islams to these two good brothers too for their studies.
Islam, fam, Islam.
Islam brothers. Peace, congratulations. Both of you.
So you have to ask yourself, well, why was these three brothers? Well, these three brothers never missed a cause, always on the study sessions. They always had their ear to what was going on within the empire. When the AMPAC 2.0 tried to pull the coup d'etat, the first two calls that they made, and praise be to Allah that Kyrie was out of town handling his out-of-town affairs. The first two calls that they made was to Daryl Day and to Luis Vega. Why? Because they had been listening to the consul general calls and listening to who was asking the majority of the questions, who had the majority of the comments. So when it was time for us to buckle down and do our investigative work, because throughout any investigation, the office of the consul generals, they become independent. The offices are independent if there's any type of investigation within the Empire of Morocco. So at that time, the wazir cannot sway them. The head of state can't use persuading tactics. The chief judge cannot use persuading tactics. They must become independent and do their work. I am here today to tell you that these were the three brothers that stood tall and did not run. These were the three brothers that they didn't jump right away. They said, well, let me go hear what these AMPAC 2.0 officials have to say. And then we're going to come back to y'all and we're going to weigh our decision. And their decision was the right decision because they seen the nefarious activities that was going on. They seen that the definition of preside meant what it meant. They seen that that the Sultan did not commit any high crimes. They seen that the speaker did not answer her phone. They seen that there was policies trying to be passed within the Empire of Morocco to make sure that officials were not talking to each other, where people can get the nefarious activity that was going on with AMPAC 2.0 between Nova Iluio, DeAndre, and Jermaine Beck, i.e. Monica Ortega. But we all had to start somewhere, Morris. When you talk about decolonization, and I don't know if the MOFA's on here, is Amaru on the call? Okay. When you talk about decolonization, and you talk about trying to be in contracts with these colonial states, we must contract with these colonial states because that's per the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, 1786 treaty. But when they see that you're not even in honor and you're not doing your homework, then they're like, well, why should we be in any type of relations with these people? We're going to exercise extraterritorial jurisdiction every time we get a chance. Brother Wazir Rashid of Texas. Let's start off with the first piece of evidence as we continue to go on, talk about the drug ring, the seditious activity that was happening in Texas that was being covered up by certain individuals from the judicial branch. So you can do me the honors, Wazir Rashid. Let's start off with Jordan Bey, i.e. Jordan Allen Henderson.
Yes, sir. Jordan Henderson.
Let's start with the cause number up top. Let's start with the filing date. Whole 9 yards.
All right. Filed 25th May 13 at 1019 Maryland Burgess in the District Court of Harris County, EA 001-2538-292 by S. Dobbins, cause number 188-1220 and 188-1222.
So what does that mean? Point of interest. There's 2 separate cause numbers. So what does that mean from a legality standpoint, a legality standpoint? What does that mean?
There's 2 different charges.
2 different charges. You can't use the Empire of Morocco to run a drug ring and use our empire, our de jure Empire of Morocco, your internal IDs and your flags and your plates to continue with your drug activity. So good, brother, because I studied with Jordan, he got caught up. Continue on, Wazir.
Sure. The state of Texas versus Jordan Henderson in the 488th Criminal District Court of Harris County, Texas. State's response to defense motion to dismiss for lack of personal jurisdiction in the Empire of Morocco.
So what that means, point of interest, Wazir, we sent a preliminary objection to them for lack of jurisdiction per this behavior. Now take in mind, he's in Harris County. Please write this down, Morris. He's in Harris County. See, but he wasn't living in Harris County. Now, right now, I want you to Google, Moors. Go to Google Maps. If you could. Go to your Google Maps and ask Google Maps, how far is Ellis County away from Harris County? Ellis County, Ellis County, away from Harris County, Harris County. And somebody please let me know.
Three hours, 8 minutes.
Say that again.
3 hours, 8 minutes.
3 hours and 8 minutes. Please write that down, Sister Chloe.
I'll say 3 hours and 31 minutes.
Please write that down, Wadi.
All right.
I'm building up. 3 hours and 8 minutes, 3 hours and 38 minutes. And we know in Texas, man, rush hour traffic something bad. But see, certain individuals weren't driving in rush hour traffic. Continue on, Wazir.
Sure. Comes now. The state of Texas, by and through the undersigned assistant district attorney, the state submits to this honorable court this response to defendant's motion to dismiss for lack of personal jurisdiction in the Empire of Morocco. The state presents the following fact. Oh.
Sorry, hold on 1 second. Continue, Uncle Brother. Sorry about that.
Okay. The state presents the following facts. On Saturday, August 18th, 2024, Officer Musa Jawad with the Houston Police Department observed a white Ford Focus. Pardon me. Observed a white Ford Focus driving in the 3900 block of Dunvale Road, a public street in Houston, Harris County, Texas, with a temporary tag number 0C1254D that had expired on August 5th, 2024.
Stop. August, September, October, November, May, June, July, August. So his tax was 3 months, 3 months expired. Could have been longer. Hold on. Expired on August 5th, or no, I'm sorry. We're going away. Those tags expired on August 5th of 2024. What year did this document come into play? So you have to pay attention.
May
13th. 2025. You got to pay attention, Morris. Because if you want to stop letting people try to pull the wool over your eyes, you have to pay attention to the small details. Upon running the tag, Officer Gerard learned that the temporary tag was fictitious and initiated a traffic stop. So was Wazir Rashid, was he using a Empire Morocco tag, or did he have a United States tag?
He had a temporary tag. It was a United States temporary tag.
Okay. And what did he try to do with that tag, they said?
Was that let's see.
They say it was fictitious and initiated a traffic stop.
Yeah.
So they're saying that they didn't actually give him, that the state didn't actually give him that temp tag. They saying that he made the temp tag up. Stay with me.
He bought one of them street vendor tags people be selling.
Mm-hmm. So the officer found out that Jordan Allen, i.e. Jordan Allen Anderson, i.e. Conya Bey, didn't have updated temp tags. That's why he got stopped. Go ahead and finish off this last little sentence here.
All right. Upon running the tag, Officer Jawad learned that the temporary tag was fictitious, and initiated a traffic stop. Upon approaching the vehicle, Officer Jawad observed the defendant, Jordan Henderson, who was identified by his Texas driver's license number 416-51766 as the driver and sole occupant of the vehicle. While asking the defendant for his driver's license, Officer Jawad observed a plastic baggie in plain view with what appeared to him, based on his training and experience, to be narcotics. Officer Jawad asked the defendant if he had any drugs or weapons in the vehicle, and the defendant informed him that he had a gun and drugs in the vehicle and on his person.
How does this make you feel, Morris? That's a question to the floor. Is this behavior by there should be a behavior by a diplomat or a consul general?
It's embarrassing.
Incompetent. Using all my N words.
But we're supposed to be acting in higher self. And I don't want to hear, because I grew up in a 5-family flat, a 1-bedroom, and a heater furnace in the house with no hot water. So I don't want to hear that our people have suffered and we need to go out and sell drugs to be successful in the world. This is a cop-out. So then, as we're trying to go through the process of decolonization, we're trying to decolonize, we got to deal with these type of situations here. Instead of telling the brother, you can't hold that position, we have to take that position back away from you, because now you have an open case. Because you're trying to use, you guys going to find out, they're trying to use the Empire of Morocco to be able to transport their drugs from Ellis County to Harris County. Did y'all hear what I just said?
Yes.
That's true.
Facts.
But this brother gets caught up with a temporary tag.
Fake tag at that.
Oh. Okay. Let's continue. That's one. You on Jordan. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Whose name is up here at the top right? Matter of fact, I don't even want to go there first. Let's do this in consensual order. Stay with me, Morris. Because we keep saying that we're honorable. This is what we're telling everybody. Oh, we're honorable. But didn't know the whole time that I'm building a case, because I seen what was happening. But every time I tried to bring the cases up or tried to point out the nefarious activity, oh, someone was jumping in. Someone was always jumping in. So now let's go to Jordan Bey's preliminary objection that we decided that we were going to put on the record for him. That's why you got to pay attention. But we want to trust, we want the Sultan to run around and just trust individuals. So this preliminary ejection was put on the record for him, for Jordan Allen Henderson, within the National Empire of Morocco. And what we're trying to tell them is that they have a lack of jurisdiction and that they're trying to destroy self-determination rights in the Empire of Morocco. But what is state of Texas saying? State of Texas is saying, look, man, this brother, if he's a national, what was his national identification, number one? Because did he show him his national identification or did he show him his state ID from the state of Texas?
State ID.
Oh, okay. Yep. So if he had national identification, whose fault that it was that he didn't show his national identification? Is that his internal state fault for not having their identification ready for their diplomats or nationals? That's their fault. But he went on to show his Texas ID, knowing that he had drugs and guns in the car. I mean,
incompetent.
We are something else. We're something else. So we're trying to run from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. Okay, but let's go on and get to the short story. Because we can't, let's go on and get to the factual background. Because let me tell you on how Allah works. Remember this date, August 18th. Please remember that date. That date's going to pop back up on somebody else. On August 18, 2024, the colonial foreign charter known as the state of Texas unlawfully detained, arrested, and charged. So did they unlawfully detain, arrest, and charge him? Did they unlawfully do that?
No, they did that lawfully.
Oh, come on now. What tags did he have on his vehicle?
Privileged United States tags.
What ID did he show them?
Texas ID.
So see, this is what the Sultan been talking about with this seditious preliminary objection document. See, they're trying, this individual that wrote this preliminary objection was trying to sway your minds. Because he wanted to write a document to show y'all that I can get someone off. So he was using the Moors as the bait. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'll write that. I need people to get." How many times did Jermaine Bey tell that we gonna have to, a few brothers and sisters gonna have to take it on the chin? You guys remember that? Take yourselves off of mute.
Yes, I do remember that.
I do remember that.
Absolutely.
A couple of us got to fall for us to rise.
So he used Joe and Bay as a fall scapegoat. The receiving state of Dempsey and the Office of Consul General have authorized Mr. Jordan Bey, ex-Rail Jordan Henderson, qualified immunities per the receiving state laws of natural corollary to the United Nations Resolution 1514 of 1960, the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations of 1961, and the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations of 1963. The receiving state of Dempsey in Morocco adopted the United Nations Resolution 1514 and the Vienna Convention of 1961 and 63 by acceptance, ratification, depository, and promulgation. But as soon as the United Nations get this case, or the United Nations is saying, y'all got dope dealers as diplomats. Come on, we can't respect you. We'll move on. And I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. We all had to course correct in our life. But we cannot have you in an official seat with continuously open with an open cases. This individual, Jordan, should have been taken out of his official seat. But guess what we were trying to do? Oh, we got to have internal states. Oh, we got to rush. We can't. Let's not take Jordan out of his seat, because that means we're not going to have the 3 to 5 people that we're supposed to have. Am I right or wrong, boys? Take yourselves off of mute, because you know this is what's happening.
Yep.
Yep.
So we are 50% of the blame. So let's continue on with the legal aspect. You don't have to tell us that Harris Police Department is an organ of the American Charter. All the Moors know that. Did the Harris Police Department, number 3, did the Harris Police Department perform an illegal search?
No, they had jurisdiction. They gave them the ID, state ID.
They also had probable cause.
Yeah. Plus, he seen it sitting in the dang seat. He didn't try to hide it at all.
No, Morris, but this type of stuff that wasn't explained to y'all.
He incriminated himself.
Who's seen this document before? Who's seen this before?
I didn't.
Prime Minister, did you see this document before regarding Jordan? If you did see it, Prime, did you really truly understand it? See, but within this document, it's not telling the full story. The Consul General was arrested and placed in the backseat of the policeman's patrol car in serious violation of his inviolable Moroccan diplomatic rights, known as immunity ration personae. 4. The authorized immunity is affirmed by the ratified, deposited, and promulgated Moorish Constitution of Demty. Mr. Jordan Bey, ex-rel Jordan Henderson, is recognized as a Moroccan national and democratically appointed Consul General. As such, his name is disclosed on the diplomatic list. Consul General Jordan Bey was appointed by the Moroccan people, free will, and issued diplomatic identification during decolonization. Well, why didn't he have it? Right? Now, they saying that he presented his state-authorized government and credentials for Demty. Okay. The identification affirmed that he was a diplomat and Consul General for Demty. Nevertheless, the police arbitrarily dismissed the governmental identification as fictitious. The police falsely accused Jordan Bey of being a sovereign citizen. A sovereign citizen is presumed to be a naturalized Moorish subject. Under the civil and criminal jurisdiction of the United States, Article 15, Section 2 of the Madrid Convention of August 3rd, 1880. Okay, so let's just say Jordan Bey did do that. But then he turned around and gave him his what?
His state ID.
He turned around and gave him the state of Texas ID. At that time, he took himself out of the Empire of Morocco and put himself back where?
In the
jurisdiction of the United States.
See?
Back to the public.
This is why you're supposed to be studied.
Self-incrimination. He incriminated himself.
Correct.
It was
But
like he
Jermaine
was playing
Bey
with
is telling you,
self-determination.
Jermaine Bey is telling you, just show your U.S. identification. So they can say, okay, you got U.S. identification, then we're gonna pull you in. We're gonna pull you in as Kanye Leroy Robinson. Here we go right here. Afterwards, the police coerced Jordan Bey to accept his former Moorish subject name, known as Jordan Allison Henderson. The police proceeded to ask Jordan Bey, ex-rel Jordan A. Henderson, to exit the vehicle and illegally placed him under arrest. Did he not have drugs and gun in the car?
Yes, he did. Oh my God. Wow.
Then they said it was open. It was in the open to where he easily seen it, and that's crazy.
You know what I don't understand? They say in court certain people couldn't prove it. We can prove it that we're Moroccan nationals, diplomats, et cetera, et cetera. Right. It's like he's playing with the self-determination.
He had more faith in riding with the drugs in that state ID than he had faith in riding with the drugs,
See,
his
now that should knock
protections
you out of your
ID.
chair. Because the day that Jordan Bey was given the sentence of 8 to 10 years, his mother said, where is these people that's supposed to be helping you? And none of the Dempsey officials was at that court date. I want to point that out to you. And I said, why didn't you guys show up to the court date? Well, we're going to get to the reason why. You're going to see why his Moroccan family was not there to show support. Because we know if you got a Nation of Islam brother in a courthouse, they're there. We know if you got a Moorish Science Temple of so-called America in a courthouse, they there. Well, what about the Moroccan nationals who have states protecting them? Where were we? The HPD let's go here. Further, the custom number 7. Further, the customary norms of international law prohibits diplomats from any arrest. We know that. Detention or adjudication by foreign court. We know that. But he poured himself back in that jurisdiction by giving them that state ID and them running that driver's license number. The Harris Police Department police exercised its imperialistic abuse of power against a Moroccan diplomat. The Harris Police Department police proceeded to place Jordan Bey in jail. You have to realize there's a difference, Morris. When Mexico was fighting the United States in the ICJ court case, Mexico versus the United States, Mexico is already a recognized country. Am I right or wrong?
You're correct.
Right.
It's known as the United States of Mexico. So yeah, some of their 52 Mexican nationals was wrongdoing, but they're recognized through the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations and the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations, as well as the 12 signatory powers is recognizing the country of Mexico. We are in the process of decolonization. So these type of things right here is stalling us out. So Jordan Bey was yes, he was escorted into jail. He was
Jordan Bay
escorted to
got
jail.
8 years, right? Correct. My
8 to 10
partner.
years. 8 to
8 to
10
10
years.
years.
Took a plea
Okay.
deal of 8 to 10 years. So yes, the preliminary objection is on the record, but it's on the record, and the state of Texas continued to push on. Why did they continue to push on? That's the question, right, Morris? Well, why did they continue to push on? Attorney General Chobet? Sister Chloe, who is this next case against from the state of Texas? Or any mother on the call?
Dominique Alicia McClue.
Yeah. Dominique Lachey McClue. Hold on one second, everyone. I just want everybody to read. The next case is against Dominique Lachey McClue. Hold on one second. This is a assault call. Okay, sorry, guys, I'm back. So the next case is against Dominique Lachey McClue. This is another, okay. This is another drug case. Same preliminary objection, right or wrong, Morris? Same blueprint. Okay. Didn't I tell y'all to remember that August 18th date?
Yeah, August 18th.
Yeah.
Okay, so August 18th, Jordan was arrested, right? Stay with me, Morris. August 18th, a year prior, who was arrested?
Dominique.
Jordan.
A year before. Jordan was August 18th, 2024. Dominique's was the same date 1 year before. Come on, y'all.
And they got her as chief judge of the consular court.
Come on.
That's
Hold
crazy
on.
work.
Let's read it. August 18th, 2000. Matter of fact, I want the Wazir to read it, who's the head of state in Texas, because I want him to know what he's dealing with out there. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Part 4, a full factual background regarding Texas' breach of territorial jurisdiction and personal jurisdiction in Morocco. Section 1, on the 18th of August, 2023, at approximately 11:30 p.m., the Moroccan national and authorized chief judge of the consular court, known as Dominique L. X-Rail Dominique Lachey McClue, alleged defendant, was responding to an emergency distress call for aid from the head of state of Demti. The head of state, Mr. Conya Bey, was being disrespected and abused during a traffic stop conducted by an American Palmer police officer in violation of the Charter of the United Nations 1945, Articles 1, 55, 73, and 74, and the rights to peaceful self-determination per UN Resolution 2625 of 1970.
Point of interest. Who was she responding for?
To Kendon.
How late was it?
11:30 p.m.
Okay.
On the way to go save her head of state.
Come on, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all have to know the truth. 2, the Texas Police Department is an organ of the American Charter. We know that. Quit trying to flip the script. 3, Chief Justice Dominique arrived at the traffic stop and witnessed a Palmer policeman performing a search of the head of state's car. Subsequently, the head of state was arrested and placed in the backseat of the policeman's patrol car in serious violation of his inviolable diplomatic rights, known as immunity rationale persona. You guys see the same blueprint?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Same blueprint. Five, on the night of the incident with the Palmer police, Dominique L. remained in her car. She was observing the unlawful traffic stop, but was quickly approached by the Palmer police, who asked Dominique L. for her identification. She presented her state-authorized government credentials of Dempsey. The identification affirmed that she was a diplomat and chief judge of diplomat. Nevertheless, the police arbitrarily dismissed the governmental identification as fictitious. He falsely accused Dominique L. of a sovereign citizen, and presumed and to be a naturalized Moorish subject. Afterwards, right? See Article 15, 1 and 2 of the Madrid Convention, August 3rd of 1880. These are all the things that we know. But what we want to know is that what do these officials have on them? Afterwards, the American police coerced Dominique L. to accept her former subject name, known as Dominique L. McClue. He proceeded to ask Dominique McClue to exit the villa and illegally placed her under arrest. He unlawfully searched her vehicle upon he discovered prescription pills and 2 authorized Moroccan firearms in her purse. 2 guns?
That woman pulled up with 2 guns in the car and some pills.
And prescription pills.
That's crazy.
Incompetent.
Well,
If that ain't incompetent.
Come on now. Hold on 1 second here. Hold on 1 second.
She was ready to set it off out there.
Oh, it ain't setting it. Here it is right here. Can y'all see this document here?
yes, sir.
Okay. Now this says that it's a DEA number. But what's the quantity, Sister Chloe, what's the quantity of hydrocodones? What's the quantity? How many hydrocodones did she have?
100. Damn.
100?
Damn.
She had 100 oxycodones?
Bruh.
She paid in cash? Hold on. You say she paid in cash. Please read that number. Look at the numbers. The amount due that she paid. Are we just flipping threes? We're just flipping 6s and 9s right now.
I've seen these. They make these with those how they get the sell the new THCA. They make these documents right here.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's getting 100 oxycodones at a time. So I question this. And for those, words of Jermaine, and for those that are questioning that she has a DEA number, so it's valid, I said, okay, let me yield back down again, because I was dealing with Mansur Bey, who's the consul general, and he kept saying, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Penitentiary Lord.
See,
It's my point of interest.
Please.
Not only are they oxycodone, them Jones 30 milligrams.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But what you need 2 guns for? What you need 2 firearms for? Where you going?
Right. And you got the firearms and you got the pills on you. Like, what kind of thinking you Ronald Reagan or something? You protected by you use the empire for protection, and you could just ride anyway. Run red lights.
Isn't that what Kendon told the brother when he came in asking about government? Kendon told the brother, I don't know if brother Tyrone, I think it was brother Tyrone. Didn't he tell the brother that where can you ride around with vitamin medicinal plants and certain pounds of vitamin medicinal plants and not get pulled over?
Facts.
Yeah, that's incompetent.
You supposed to be some so-called second salted? We can't trust you. We can't trust these individuals. And these individuals are all on Facebook trying to act like they're honorable. Well, we
really
constantly got cases. We constantly got cases going on. Now, let me show you something. Let me show you how they lied to you. Can you still see the screen?
Yes, sir.
So as you can see here, Dominique case was dismissed, but they reopened it back up. Dominique is sitting here saying that she's a chief judge of consular court, but Dominique has a pending what?
Warrant.
The last I checked, it was a pending warrant out for her arrest. A pending warrant. And they reopened back up. They reopened back, even though the Supreme Court dismissed it. They decided to try to reopen it back up in the lower court. Oh, I'm gonna prove it to you. See, they want to try to take y'all for boo-boo the fool, trying to say that y'all ain't gonna read. They don't know what's going on. We got it. We got to hear more. Nah, you don't need to read for me, because I'm reading it. This is a text message. Who is this from? Who's that text message from?
No, that's Empire Morocco Judge J. Bey.
Because she kept failing drug tests. Justice Dominique was arrested this morning. The prosecutor requested her to take a urine test before she went before the judge. The urine results came back allegedly positive. Allegedly? What are you talking about? Being a controlled substance. However, Dominique only takes a prescription pill. So they locked her up temporarily until she produces prescriptions. In other words, they're trying to play games with her. Now, Judge Dominique's going to tell you that the Counsel General, Conya Bey, called her regarding this matter. I said, please put us on the three-way. Put me on the three-way with with the doctor that's prescribing these drugs. You ever think she called me and put me on the three-way?
Nope.
No.
You see, now let's muddy the waters, because this is in the PO committee. Also, keep in mind that the female judge just dismissed her case a few weeks ago. Now, all of a sudden, there's an old white man is the judge, which means that they removed the female judge. Immediately, the old white judge is using abuse tactics under the color of law and color of authority. We'll get all the evidence very soon. Lastly, keep in mind that Dominique introduced the motion of compel court to order to answer all her questions. Evidently, they don't want to answer the questions because they know they do not want to give Dominique the written decision that the female judge used the reason for dismissing the case. So they just said, no, we're going to continue to keep this case open. Why do they keep messing with Jordan, Dominique, and Kendi, the state of Texas? Why do they keep doing it? Take yourselves off of mute one at a time. Why do you think they keep saying, okay, you dismissed it, but no, I'm opening it back up? But he tries to muddy the waters with an old white male judge. You see what he just did? You see on how he just protected the female judge?
Yeah.
And then he just went after the old white male judge? Oh, this brother is something else. He know he can sway y'all when he mentions the woman. Didn't he just do that to Brittany and McCarr and the House members?
Point of interest.
Please.
This alludes to the fact, and Prime Minister Akil Bey here. This alludes to the very fact that the state of Texas has already been aware of everything they've been doing already. Yet, what is the spinoff? Oh, the Empire and Kanye and whatnot, they got to be COINTELPRO, they got to be police. But yet, we're looking at evidence of a case that was reopened. For what reason? Oh, for the same reason the charges were brought about, these drug charges. This clarity that we're going over right here in this meeting. So again, what's the spinoff? Oh, they're the police. They're COINTELPRO. They're something. Yet, let's talk about the facts on the table before we get to saying stuff like that. Let's talk about the actual happenings that have happened before we get to saying stuff like that. Right? So who is already aware of this? obviously, because they reopened the state of Texas at this very moment in time. So I just like to say that before I make any other further comments. You
Point of interest.
Wow.
Now all of a sudden, Conya Bey is a cop. Everybody knows my profession. There's a high tower of security, and I'm the head dean at a high school. I'm the dean of students at a high school and the basketball coach. Now all of a sudden, I'm a cop. Oh yeah. But I'm also the attorney general for the Empire of Morocco. I've been investigating, watching people all my life through sports, security. I got to watch. I got to do background checks. But this is what the empire didn't know. And if you got situations you need to take care of them. Quit trying to use the empire as your cover up. You think you can have narcotics and 2 guns or unprescribed pills, oxycodone, 100 pills? This makes no sense, y'all. We have to grow up. We got to grow up. We want people to respect us, and we won't even respect our own nation.
On the privilege.
Continue. Go ahead.
I remember this call back in August 24, on the 18th. It was a Sunday when they had like a state emergency. Everybody came on the call dealing with these people and their activities. Jay Bay was the main person that was talking about whether or not the Wazir had put in the preliminary objection. It was about, what time was it? Probably about 9 o'clock their time. And they was really getting on the Wazir about not putting in the preliminary objection. I remember this call. It was in the 2024 when they was dealing with that state. I remember this call because everybody was allowed to come in and listen to it, what was going on. But they never mentioned anything about any drugs. Zero.
Say what again?
They didn't mention anything about any drugs. Zero.
See, this is nefarious
I remember
activity.
this call. Yeah. It was talking about everything else except the real main issue, why those people were being detained and arrested.
I mean, how do you like this? This is your country. This is your country. You have to fight for what's yours, Moors. And I'm wondering, was I on that call, good brother?
Yes, you were.
I remember that call.
It was on a Sunday. It was on a Sunday on August 18th.
I don't remember that call.
I remember that call.
But I don't remember the call. That's what I'm telling you. I'm the head consul general of the empire. Why wasn't I on that call?
They didn't want you to know.
Correct.
They were dealing with everybody out of Texas except you.
As the consul general of the empire, shouldn't I have been on that call, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should
have been the main one speaking on that call.
That's right.
Correct. But he always was every time I would point something out, he would come back and defend it. Like the DEA number on the document for the 100 oxycodones.
And it makes sense now to why when I spoke to them brothers, they was acting how they was acting. Mansour told me, he was like, no, it's some stuff going on right now, but we're gonna get back to you within a few weeks. And some months went by and I ain't hear from him again. And then I finally talked to Kenan and he He was like, nah, just be observer official, just keep studying. This is why.
Facts. Facts. He did me the same way.
Kendon was on the call, though. He was on the call.
Of course he was. Because Jordan, Dominique, and Kendon were all selling drugs together. Using Dempty, using a de jure Empire of Morocco for their protections. Come on, man. Okay. No problem. Hold on one second. Y'all see this document here, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. They want to play they want to play games with our lives. I'm not about this. I'm not about lying to the people. We're not going to lie to the people. But who was the main person trying to protect them? Go ahead. Who was the main person knew what was going on?
Jay Bay.
Jay Bay.
He's running the whole show.
Yep.
The mastermind behind the drug ring.
Yep.
Using the empire for protection.
Yep.
The mastermind of deception. That's what he was doing, deceiving us.
Oh.
And if we see it, the colonists see it.
Correct.
Right.
Hold on one second. We're going to get back to this one. We're going to get back to this one. Because why didn't we? Somebody's writing on my screen. Thank you. Let's go here. That's one. Let's go here.
Point of interest. If you stop the share and then reshare, it'll remove all the writing.
Stop the share and reshare. I know what I did. Let me stop it and then share it again. Okay, good. I got this document up here. Okay. Whose name is up here at the top left?
Kendon.
Okay. Again, his name's on the top left. Okay. Somebody please do me the honors and read that.
Islam. Let's see. Criminal case attorney appearance.
Let me do it good, brother, because I know some of y'all on your phone and I got it better on my computer. So
yeah.
Boy, I got you. 443rd Judicial District Court, Ellis County. Court Building, 109 South Street, Waxahachie, Texas, May 8th, 2025. To Kendon Richard Vaughn, 16755 Ella Boulevard, number 66, Houston, Texas, 77090. Criminal case, attorney appointment. The above named defendant is ordered to either retain an attorney or contact the Ellis County indigent. What does indigent mean, Morris?
No money.
Poor.
Defense coordinator. If you wish to apply for a court-appointed attorney on or before the date and time stated below. The date below is this is your first announcement. You and your attorney must appear in court on the day below. If you have retained an attorney, the attorney is directed to contact the court coordinator immediately in order to receive the docket for the First Amendment date. Failure to comply with this order will result in a bond, forfeiture, and arrest. May 20th, 2025 at 8:15 a.m. Calls number 514-1378, 44 3rd District Court, felony bond conditions, effective March of 2025. This was happening all right up under y'all noses, Morris. Why you think they were gatekeeping and didn't want to give people their nationalities?
They couldn't.
They was trying to get themselves straight.
Defendants shall not commit, be charged, be with, or be arrested for commission of any subsequent criminal offense in violation of the law of the state of Texas, any other state, or the United States. Let me move this up. Sorry, Morris. Stay with me. It's not letting me. My computer's acting up. Hold on one second. Okay. 2, the defendant shall not purchase, possess, or use controlled substances, alcohol, or firearms. Defendant shall not use any product containing THC, including products available for sale, over the counter, and products obtained through medical prescription in this or in any other state. But why are they saying these type of things?
Because of the charges.
Because of the charges. Defendants charged with an alcohol-related felony offense, such as a felony DWI, intoxication assault, intoxication manslaughter, etc., shall not operate a vehicle unless the vehicle is equipped at defendant's own expense with a device that uses a deep lung breath analysis mechanism to make impractical the operation the operation of the vehicle. If ethical alcohol is detected in the interlock device, and said device shall be equipped with a camera, or at the discretion of the community supervision and corrections department, utilize an in-home deep lung breath analysis mechanism for detection of ethical alcohol on the breath. Abide by all monitoring rules and do not attempt to adjust, tamper with, or circumvent the interlock device. Comply with the program requirements of the provider, including but not limited to submitting to testing at each unit request, rolling retest, and abort reading and fail violation reading before turning the ignition off. Defendants charged with any offense shall, at the judge's discretion, submit to drug tests, portable breath tests, and shall not test positive for the presence of controlled substance and or related in their system. Now, what y'all don't know, I'm sorry, Morris, You have to read that first sentence there because me and the prime minister know why they're saying that. Right or wrong, prime?
Correct.
When they talked about the offense such as the felony DUI, intoxication, assault, intoxication, and manslaughter. What is manslaughter to y'all?
Manslaughter mean somebody
Somebody
died.
died, right or wrong?
Mm-hmm.
That is correct.
See,
It sound like he like to get drunk real bad.
And what it sounds like to me is that at
Or
some
high.
particular point in time in this man's life, somebody died on his hand. Now we know we have evidence of that too.
He was a part of.
Mm-hmm.
I'm late to the call. Who are we referring to?
We're talking about Kendon.
Oh, okay. I thought so. Let's see.
Yeah. We're talking about manslaughter.
Fake.
And we have to work on that. I'm working on this. Me and the prime minister is working on this on the back end because I'll be damned if you want to say somebody is some so-called salt and some fraudulent salt. These type of things need to be out in the forefront to the people. We have evidence of the manslaughter. I told y'all this was not be nice, but the legal is not nice.
That scenario was never brought up in the Wazir Council meetings at all. We didn't know anything about this.
You know, the Wazir region, the Wazirs didn't know. The Sultan didn't know. Nobody knew. Because nobody was reading the documents because they kept hiding the documents. And we didn't have full clarity on who we were dealing with, Morris.
Point of interest, this is Chief Judge Bey, Marvin
Please,
Bey.
Judge. Floor is yours.
Was there a background check that would have produced that information?
Judge, when I presented to them background checks, to no avail. To no avail. We were just running around trying to put people and trying to start internal states without background checking. And then all of a sudden, we got 7 or 8 internal states, and then they say, well, maybe we need to start background checking. Well, we need to start background checking from previous Moors too. This was us moving too fast. So what do you expect for Dominique, Jordan, and Kendon to do when they see that the person that's been protecting them is being nefarious, has sedition activity, because they didn't want this to come out, so they had to go over there with AMPAC 2.0. They had no other choice.
Had to comply by default.
Correct. Let me show you something here, which is so disrespectful.
Point of interest.
Go ahead.
I'd just like to further expound on what if I were someone coming within the AMPAC 2.0 faction, thinking I'm about to be nationalized, there will be certain questions that I will ask, especially as relates to being aware of these public records. Okay, so if there's a sultan, quote unquote, named Conya Bey, and there's documentation that anybody can go and look at and see manslaughter attached to his name. There's questions that I think that if using common sense, you would ask, what happened? Is this somebody that outside of all the several questions that you would have, is this somebody that you would, even if found innocent, that you would say, hey, okay, next step, let's you got my vote. You got my vote of confidence. That's through a conversation like that, is that what gives someone confidence? To put a vote of confidence is what we call in government on the record to elect someone into the office of sultan. Is that doesn't sound logical at all. It really doesn't. Regardless, guilty or innocent, for the simple fact that this is even a conversation for someone who is said to be the sultan, quote unquote, from this group. This is beyond idiotic, in all honesty. Someone in their correct, proper, right mind cannot sit here and tell me when they have the floor, won't say a thing. Right? I won't say a thing. Can sit here and explain to me and how asking several questions about this very same thing, manslaughter, Conya Bey, sultan, okay, guilty or innocent, you have the confidence that this person can lead a whole state government based on these actions that obviously weren't brought to the table for a reason. For a reason. And I'm sure they still haven't been over in their faction. And even furthermore to the people over in that faction, why aren't you asking those questions? Manslaughter? Manslaughter. Questions. Again, regardless if it's guilty or innocent. Logically, the next step would be to make him the sultan. Logically. That's worse than what, in my opinion, the people who are disgruntled about Trump or Joe Biden being president for one reason or another, manslaughter and the sultan. Really? That's silly. That's goofy. But I like to yield with that.
Point of interest.
Point of interest. The floor is yours.
Yeah,
Point of interest.
I feel that yeah, it's not being about right or wrong. It's not being about guilty or innocent. And that's why I feel the ball was dropped just without the background check, because the background check to provide the opportunity for you to put your truth in writing. You know, it's not necessarily everybody's business. It's not, you could speak with, even if it's made our business, speaking with the person, I'm sure after they spoke with it, spoke their truth. Uh, at least me, I'm a very forgiving and understanding person when it comes to things. Just because you have a manslaughter charge or someone died and you were involved, that doesn't necessarily make you a guilty party to me. We understand how things are done in the United States. So these charges, it's not so much about that. It's your opportunity to bring that in writing. So everyone, it is out there and known by your background check. So it is known by the empire about your background.
Correct.
I just thought the ball was dropped and given that and making sure that was known, because it's not like, hey, I do have a manslaughter. Is that okay with everybody?
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody's going to present it like that.
Correct.
You know, that background check is that opportunity to do that. And the ball was dropped there.
Islam, Judge. Islam. And that's correct. and that's a judge, and I'm an attorney. I'm just telling you, and I'm an attorney general.
I had a
Absolutely.
point of I had a
Oh,
point of
okay.
interest before you start, brother.
Okay, David Bay, point of interest.
Yeah.
Floor is yours. Excuse me. My
This
apologies.
no, you good. I just wanted to ask a question. So before anybody take an office or anything got to deal with coming into the empire, don't we do? Because like when I came in, I had to come in with a background check. So they have everything I did from the county, the state, and the feds, right, on my background, and that I was born in the United States. Don't everybody have to do that? So,
Everybody now. If let me know when you're done.
okay, so in order to be, the sultan of one of the high positions, don't you have to be born? We have to be born here on this land, or you could be in a position of power like that, uh, you know, not born here, like born in the islands or whatever, but not in the United States. I'm just asking a question.
No, whether it's the United States or born on one of the like you say, the islands. We're not running a monarchy anymore. So the monarchy from previous past is that the only way that you could be a sultan was that your father was the sultan, and your father, and then you became the sultan. Um, that was basically what you kind of basically called the monarchy. Now, the camel back on your question as far as the background check, yeah, background checks are being done now. But like the judge just stated, what about your credibility of letting the people know that you have these type of things going on? What I'm pointing out right now is not trying, what I'm trying to point out to the nation is that this nefarious activity was going on, so they were trying to get from up under the things that they were doing in another jurisdiction. So they were using us as a way to get from up under these things that they were doing in another jurisdiction, which isn't right because we're in the process of decolonization. We're in the process of decolonizing. So when these colonial states see that this is nefarious activity going on between our people, then what makes them want to abide by the treaties, the declarations, the charters when it comes to the de jure mores? Now the Sultan was upfront and honest. Your David Bay, your de jure Sultan was upfront and honest about his nationality of Panama. He gave that information to the state of Georgia, to the officials of Georgia, as well as the three heads of state. So why couldn't Kendon, Dominique, or Jordan let us know what the heck is going on with y'all before you came into the empire? Why do we have to find out a year and a half or 2 years later? Well, why is the people finding out a year and a half or 2 years later that this is going on? And I always understand, Judge, about forgiveness. You can forgive something that made an honest mistake. We just can't walk around forgiving our brothers and sisters when it was told to a brother as they tried to come for their nationality and the state of Dempsey that where else are you going to be able to ride around with pounds of drugs in your car and nobody stops you? That's sedition. I am all about forgiving people and giving people a second chance. But when there was constant sedition on the table of them trying to sweep things up under the rug, and then you want to have something publicly to say about the de jure Sultan who was actually voted in by you, that did not hide anything. Nothing was hidden. When they tried to hold on one second, brother. When they tried to bring the Panama stuff up, But then we can welcome somebody into the Empire of Morocco like Monica Ortega and let her oversee all high-ranking officials? I'm going to mute the background. So this isn't trying to bash them today. This is a learning moment for us moving forward. This needs to happen. We have to learn from these things, Morris. Or you're going to continue to let people come in and walk all over you. Wazir Buck, you had a point of interest on the floor. The floor is yours, good brother.
I just wanted to say, and the Sultan is legally and lawfully the Sultan because, Panama was colonized by Spain. So you have to understand those legal aspects of it too.
Who is now a party. Let's go here. All right, man. This is the 1880 Treaty of Madrid. On here, you can see Spain was a signatory power to this treaty. Right or wrong, Morris? It's a question I'm asking. Take yourself off of mute.
Right.
100%.
100% correct.
Spain is the signatory power to this treaty, and Spain colonized Panama.
I mean, to be honest, his phenotype says he's a Moor. He was just inside of Morocco.
Let's quit playing this game. That's why they quit talking about it, because we kept pushing the narrative of don't be talking about our Sultan who's darker than dark and who comes for Panama. And Spain is a signatory power of the 1880 Treaty of Madrid. Come on, you want to get legal, lawful. And this is Article 15 right here. And it says foreign naturalization hereto acquired by subjects of Morocco, according to the rules established by the laws of each country, shall continue to them as regards to all its effects without any restrictions. Any subject of Morocco who has been naturalized in a foreign country. Any subject of Morocco who's been naturalized in a foreign country. Any subject of Morocco who's been naturalized in a foreign country. The Sultan was naturalized in Panama. What are we understanding? And then the next thing is that quit feeling sorry for yourself as being naturalized. The Sultan of the Empire of Morocco was naturalized twice. How was he naturalized twice? Moors?
United States.
God.
In Panama and in the United States.
But this man was naturalized twice. And
United States military.
Served in the military for the United States Air Force for 4 years. While he was serving in the military, was these type of things happening? State of Texas, Kendon Richard Bond, verse 2,380 in U.S. currency. Original notice of seizure and intended forfeiture from the head of state. This is a head of state. This is a person that was a head of state. These are all just definitions. We know this. Let's get to the brass tacks. So the short story is going to tell you everything. If you want this, I'll send it to you. It's public information. Alleged contraband of $2,380 in U.S. currency, vital medicinal plants, animal, minerals, mushrooms, or kith. Everybody just take a minute. Look at it. Take your minute and realize from a legal perspective, would you respect us? When you have guns, oxycodones, mushrooms, minerals, kifs, narcotics, vital medicinal plants, all happening at the same time. All three of these cases is happening because if you go back up and look here, those cases all was August. This is now September 22nd. These are things that was happening year after year, month after back to back.
Point of interest. Um, shouldn't there be a public declaration or excommunicado or something that lets the public or anyone else interested in the empire know just right off hand that the empire denounces these people as well as their acts and illegal activities?
That's a great question. And that's our next steps. And this is what we call the Denationalization Act, which is needs to be passed by the House. They're working on that right now. If you think this is okay, what was happening behind the scenes, this was a part of the policies and procedures that they were trying to stop me from talking to the Sultan and the Speaker of the House, who's actually wasn't Dempsey. Are you guys seeing it now?
Correct. All too clear.
Because they knew that I had caught on to what was happening when I started questioning them about why does this woman need 100 oxycodones? Number two, why does she need 2 guns? Why are they traveling from Ellis County to Harris County, which is a 3.5-hour drive commute, getting pulled over at night? You know, it's 3 things they say the Moors need to learn. History. You need to know your history. You need to know law. And you need to know national. You need to know your, as you are. And the prophet said, if you don't do one thing, claim your what? Claim your nationality. See what I say. Some Moors like to run away from. They like to run away from the law, and nobody's above the law. We've been taught by growing up in these inner cities that the law. No, we run away from the law. That's how some of us was taught. But this also has to do with what's your character. What is your character? I think we had a point of interest on the floor too. My apologies. Okay. I want to show you the response from Jermaine Bey. I want to show you guys this response regarding when Jordan Bey went to jail. Now, as you guys can see up the top, how many members were in the PO committee? As you guys can see at the top. You guys see all those bubbles? So this is the PO committee. Cicero, Chief Judge Cicero. Will you please take yourself off of mute? If you're still here.
Who did you say? I'm folding clothes. I'm sorry.
No, Chief Judge Cicero. I got you. I got you, Judge. Judge Cicero, are you available? Chief Judge Cicero. Okay. This is the response. Jordan Bey went to jail this day.
It's crazy.
And his response to us.
What?
Anubis, put yourself on mute, brother. No problem. I'll zap him.
The principal thing, and then
Anubis Bey. What state is he with? Vega?
I'm in Texas.
Okay. Okay. I just had to mute you, good brother.
Yes, sir.
No problem. This is the response. AHCG, you failed today. Counsel, you guys see this? Counsel General Mansur Bey, you failed today. The PO failed today. This is unacceptable. This is what he's saying in a preliminary objection committee in front of your peers. So at the bottom, let me ask y'all a question. Would y'all respond like this after one of your brothers had got 8 to 10 years in jail? Is this a way to respond to other government officials? Is this appropriate behavior?
Chief Judge Cicero, wait for a moment.
That's a question to the floor. Who failed? Did we fail Jordan Bey, or did Jordan Bey fail himself?
He failed himself from the get-go.
But you see the belligerent behavior on how he tried to attack my office? Because we had already put everything on the record from preliminary objections. And he's saying, well, you didn't do something 7 days before. They wasn't accepting any of our documents. Jordan Bey's mother went to court and they said, we don't have anything from any empire of Morocco. Did y'all hear what I just said?
Yes.
Down at the bottom, he tells me, tell Mansur to stand down. He failed. So I'll take it from here. Let me ask you, is Mansur over there with AMPAC 2.0 right now?
He is.
Yep.
What did I say after he said Mansur failed? I'm in the green down there. What did I say?
He took responsibility, but also asked to be included in matters on issues from the EOM.
I want to be on every call regarding any issues with the Empire Morocco. Okay, let me show you what they told me. This is what Dre said to me. Acting Head Counsel General, we'll talk later, but you are not necessarily required to be in every call regarding every issue unless needed. This Sunday, the PO committee will have a meeting. We're going to clarify and fix some things on how we're going to move forward. If this has anything to do with legal, should not be in those meetings. If we're having discernments within our Wazir Council meetings, and people are being belligerent towards each other, and we can't have decorum, should not be in those meetings as a counsel general to be the mediator.
Yes.
First-hand knowledge.
So I can know what's going on But you see, this is the nefarious activity, is that they didn't want me into these meetings. But then when something went wrong, like Jordan Bey going to jail for 8 to 10 years, he tells me and Mansur, we failed. How did we fail? Was I in the car with Jordan selling dope, selling narcotics?
No, you was not.
What he should have said is that Kendon, and he shouldn't even came out and said anything publicly to them. He should have been talking to Kendon and Dominique and saying, y'all need to clean this. This ain't looking good. Because the state of Texas said, I'm going to get somebody. I'm going to get somebody. It's 3 of y'all. Right now, today, Dominique has a warrant. She's running. Today, Kendon took a plea deal. Hopefully, y'all hearing what I'm just saying. Dominique got a warrant. She's running. Kendon took a plea deal. What happened when Kendon took his plea deal? Who did he tell on?
Jordan.
He told on Jordan, the one who just got 8 to 10 years.
And he walked away. They said, we're not letting you off, Jordan. We got you. Kendon took his plea deal and received his ankle monitor. Didn't they just talk about his ankle monitor and his breathalyzer?
They did.
The first person named at the top is whose? Who's the first person name? Who's case number 1?
A new Merman Bay.
Okay. Right now, on your phones, I want you to put in your phones. I'm going to spell it out for you. I'm going to tell you something else that they did not tell the Sultan. And when I questioned them about it, Brother Gabandi, don't believe everything that people have to say to you. Go ahead. That's the name I want you to Google. And I want you to go to the Bible. You Google that name, it's going to bring something up. Go ahead, Morris. Tell me what it brings up.
That's the
What name did you say?
registered sex offender.
Say the what again?
I was going to say, what name did you say to Google?
Yeah, Damian Lee Terry. I put it in the chat, Judge.
Okay.
You talking about the one that say people of the state of Colorado versus Damian Lee Terry?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You want me to say what it says?
When I started working on Damien's paperwork, I brought to the government about him being a sex offender. But I'm going to ask this question to Abdul Smith Al-Kabir, and I'm going to ask this question to the Prime Minister. Did they ever tell you two that we had a brother that was in jail and he was a sex offender that we were trying to protect? I'm talking legal. I don't have feelings when it comes to this.
No, he was no, not at all, not even close. He said he was some Moorish American process got him caught up. That's what I was told.
So during that time, Abdul Smith Al-Kabir, and then during that time, Prime Minister, how much did us three talk during that time when they were sweeping this up under the rug too? How much were we talking? And the Sultan is not standing any trial. He's just answering the question for me. Because we're not going to break Article 80, Section 2. So if he don't even want to answer the question, he doesn't have to.
What was the question that you asked?
The question is, and during that time, when they told you this, how much of a previous conversation have me and you have been talking? Were we talking on a daily basis or weekly basis?
Not at all.
Not at all. But guess who knew about this? Because I brought it to AMPAC's table.
Chief Judge JJ.
See, this is people going to say, now I don't know the full story. I know it's there. And when I talked to Damien, Damien told me that his ex-girlfriend's daughter made a claim against him. That particularly was not true. That's what he says is not true, but apparently he's going to tell me it isn't true. But my thing is that why would this mother put her daughter do this if it's not true? Because I work with children every day. They run me through the system. By me working as the head dean of a high school, I have to be ran through every federal system it is to make sure that I'm not a registered sex offender. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Right.
I worked at Denver Children's Home, Jefferson Hill Mental Health Centers with the youth. They would ask me to go down and check the young ladies' rooms in the middle of my third shift, and I said, absolutely not. I said, y'all need to hire somebody as a counselor on this third shift. You guys need to hire a woman so she could be able to go check those rooms. Because if I go check that room and click on the light, and then the girl say, oh, Counselor Kanye was looking at me, I'm automatically in court. I don't know if you guys know that. Now it's my word versus the 14, 15, 16-year-old. This is real stuff, Moors. I don't know if y'all thought that we were going to be playing in Candyland, but we're going through the same things that the other colonial states were going through. They're dealing with sex offenders. They're dealing with drug dealers. They're dealing with murderers. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
So why do you say you have power over all these colonial states and think that, oh my God, the Empire of Morocco is out of a shallow grave, but we're not going to have to deal with these other colonial states have to do. We're going to have it all. We're going to have killers, drug dealers, sex offenders, everything within the Empire of Morocco. That's why our legal team needs to be strong. That's why the consul generals need to have impartiality and be strong. That's why when we start to appoint attorney generals for each colonial state, they need to be strong. Because the only thing that's going to keep our people in higher self is knowing that the law will come. This ain't got nothing to do on how you look. You sign. And the United States, we understand they're criminals, but two wrongs don't make a right. But the only reason why the United States colonial system are criminals is because the Moors fell into a shallow grave and we forgot who we were.
Point of interest.
What was yours, Crime?
I just also like to add on to the fact that there was a policy drafted and passed by the empire called the Mandatory Disclosure of Violent Criminal History for Government Officials Policy. This policy was passed and has been passed for some time now, in which directly goes against all that's being stated. I didn't draft this document. I don't think anybody on this call drafted this document, but yet it seems to be a double standard here going on. Again, we have a policy on violent criminal history, but yet it seems to bypass some people's current cases and past actions. That's a double standard. Now, if this is not beginning to be clear, more than anything, I don't really know what to tell you. Because at this time, whether, as I stated before, right or wrong, guilty, innocent, there needs to be several conversations had before somebody decides to elect somebody as an official to lead everybody in their families. But why is everybody else expected to uphold these policies and punish if not? Yet there's a secluded sect of people who don't have to abide by the law. Again, this policy is one policy that is obviously being disregarded or has been disregarded. On top of all the unlawful actions. So I just want to add that into the conversation as well. Are you?
Thank you, Prime. Listen, as your attorney general, and Kyrie's going to take it from here. But I'm here for you, brother Kyrie. As of today, this was my last duty before I put together my package when time comes regarding certain officials, where this will all become public to the people. So they can keep with their nefarious activities, the copper tone, whatever you calling this brother, who keeps jumping back and forth from us to them and talking about a recording of the Sultan apologizing for the definition of preside, and that was before the Sultan was notified by Watson Ali that no, brother, that's not true. Did you read Article 10 of the Constitution? But your Sultan was cornered. Prime Minister, oh, you're not going to punk me? Jay, oh man, you don't have any power in the Constitution. The House, speakers of the House not saying anything to nobody. They just, McCarr's just in the back, just won't say nothing. Nova Iluil in front of him, talking about we got to get these, we got to make sure that we got 10 different steps for them to claim their nationalities. Hold on. Where was your steps when it came to Kendon, Dominique, and Jordan? Whole time they telling the vice prime minister, no, we don't need none. We good, brother. The whole time they telling Conya Bey, oh, no, you don't need to be on no calls. So me and the vice prime at the time, which is your prime minister, we just still studying, still watching them and studying them. Let's go back again. Let me see if we can read this definition one more time. Since copper colored, whatever his name is, don't understand the definition of preside. The definition of preside: be in position of authority in a meeting or other gathering. Definition of preside. Okay, that's just right there. Let's go to the etymology dictionary. This is ridiculous. But since some of our Moors act like, oh, we don't want to read, let's go put preside here. Let's read. Let's see what the definition of preside here. Be set over others. Be set over others. Have a place of authority. Direct and control. Preside over, govern. Stand guard. Literally sit in the front of. Is this the same definition that he gave y'all in that fraudulent court proceeding of the definition of preside? That's a question to the floor.
Not at all. Not at all.
And doesn't he use the etymology dictionary? How many AMPAC study sessions have you used where he